Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie comic interview. It's your host, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our brand new friend, Michael Katz. How are you doing today? Welcome to the stream.
Great, thanks for having me.
Man, first and foremost, big shout out, $2,459 of 2,000 goal on Kickstarter for your first book, Riot Earp, issue number 1. Did I say that right, or did I mess it up again?
No, you got it.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. We did it live. So yeah, congratulations. Welcome to the stream. We were talking a little bit before stream just about some of your experiences. So before we really get to diving into that, you know, first and foremost, you know, let's start diving into who you are.
Okay. Well, by day, I'm a mild-mannered attorney, and by night, I'm a father. And in my spare time, instead of sleeping, I like to write and edit and publish. Since 2002, I've been part of a publishing company, small indie, concern. And I started out as an editor, and I had an idea for a book, and I thought, I might find someone to write it. And then someone told me, well, why don't you write it yourself? And I did. And ever since, I've been trying to find free time to write my own stuff. And then, I've been into comics since I was 7 years old. So you're talking, over 4 decades. And I think November of 2020 is when I started to get into creating comics.
So you did all that in 2 years, like what we have right now, this issue and the next one?
Yeah. I'm farther ahead than you'd know.
Wow. Like, I mean, because they're fully each one's about 25 pages, fully fleshed out artwork, written, everything. This is remarkable. I mean, yeah, you're just basically doing the Kickstarter just to get it physical, right?
Not only that, but to continue to fund future projects.
That's so awesome.
I've been, it's been coming out of my own pocket, and at some point, my wife's like, "Stop."
I love you, honey, but enough's enough. No, I get it. So, how's that been though? Funding because you had 4, and you decided to condense them into 2 books. How was that funding the first 4 books out of pocket?
Well, luckily I have business partners who are willing to back me, and I have my own funding.
You keep them out of jail, and they back you. I got you.
Right. Yeah. But the reason it started out as a series of 24-page issues, and I thought, well, since I'm an unknown quantity, I'd rather have a double-sized complete story for at least my first couple times selling the product. Because if it was me, I'd be concerned buying a brand new project by a brand new creator. So at least if I have a full story in front of me, I can gauge whether it's quality work or not, and whether I want to come back.
So what drove you to kind of go with this take? It's based heavily in like the politics of the area, sci-fi, action. I mean, it has a little taste of everything. It even had like an Alex Jones lookalike, which I thought was rather hilarious. What kind of inspired you to kind of go that route out of anything? I mean, as a lawyer, I'm sure you've heard so many crazy and defended so many crazy stories that you probably have just books and books to tell.
Yeah, I actually am working on a novel about it takes place in the courtroom scenario. They seem to sell. I started out doing westerns.
You're like the Phoenix Wright of indie comics.
Yeah, I love westerns, but they don't sell.
Yeah.
But no, everything I write kind of has a mishmash of themes and genres, because I want to be able to appeal to as large an audience as possible. And like to think I have a sense of humor, and I try and put that sense of humor in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to keep things, you know, with action and adventure, because I want to keep people interested in that as well. So the setting for Riot Earp actually came first, where, you know, it's, I mean, the last few decades, really, it's been concerning living in America, where, you know, things just keep getting more and more, you know, partisan. And I started thinking, okay, where are things going to go? And, you know, how's the country going to end up? And then this just popped into my head. In America, divided into 4 provinces, 2 Republican, 2 Democrat. And then I decided, okay, that's a good basis for a story.
Yeah.
Who can I plug in? What kind of character?
What are the 4 parties, though? Is it like far left, far right, and then left and right?
No. It's just, you know, like just 2 liberal and 2 conservative.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and you know, the country's still, you know, divided into states, but, you know, all the states kind of join together, yeah, with their neighbors, except for Florida. Nobody really wanted Florida.
Florida's always the crazy one. Like,
so, you know, someone gets stuck with Florida, and I'm sure there'll be people reading the book thinking, why is my state a blue state, or why is my state a red state? You know, hey, I don't make the rules.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, what, 30 years ago, the colors would have been reversed anyways. They pretty much flipped parties. I forgot how long ago, but that was something a lot of people don't even realize.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, you go back to Lincoln with the, you know, Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
You know, and then yeah, you're right. It was a thing in the '60s when the parties really started changing and flipping. Yeah, so, what they believed in.
With Ryan, we start out with him being kicked off the Space Force. What drove you to kind of start it off there instead of making, I guess, like a prologue or starting off with his experiences in the Space Force?
Well, that really wasn't important to me. What I wanted was for him as a character to be able to explore the country as of 2055 and the way, you know, different provinces and different states are set up. I don't want to, you know, proselytize and say that, you know, one side is correct and the other side is wrong, because I grew up kind of in the middle, where, you know, I thought politics should be like a Chinese menu where you can pick something from column A and something from column B. You know, you shouldn't have to be forced to pick a side. So in the comic, you know, Earp is just, you know, put in different situations. He goes to different states and provinces, and he's, you know, the viewer's eyes and mind thinking, okay, this is crazy, but then this is crazy. You know, for example, you know, he's a cop in California, and in the blue province, you know, everybody has to use rubber bullets, which aren't very effective against criminals who don't use rubber bullets. And then, you know, in a later issue, he goes to Texas, where everybody basically carries a firearm, you know, on their hip, whether they want to or not.
I think you really did a good job like encasing that. Because when he does fire a gun for the first time and he kills someone, he has a hard time like accepting it, you know. He's told just to really pretty much like just shut up and deal with it, because like this is, you know. So I thought that was interesting to kind of see his reaction, how you were able to maintain that character. I really don't want to spoil too much of the story, because I feel like, you know, with the Kickstarter, we don't want to give out too much, you know. We want to save some juice for him. But what was your reasoning for making him part of the California Highway Patrol? You want him to, I guess, explore a lot of the country. Why not make him like some sort of secret agent, or like an FBI agent or CIA or something?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know the answer to that. It's just, you know, he's one of those characters that just kind of, you know, popped into my head fully formed. And
he is a whole package. Like, he is a whole package character.
Right. You know, but the CHP came to me like a month after I created the character. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, I like like that. Maybe I was watching Chips on TV or something. And I thought, hey, that would be pretty cool because, you know,
we're probably the only two people that are going to get that reference. Everyone's going to be like, Chips, like, what is that?
Yeah, but the thing is, with a TV show like that, yeah, they found themselves in all kinds of different situations, and I wanted to have a character that could be able to, be put in all kinds of different situations.
So we see that with Rick, right? The dynamic duo, it seems, is being formed between those two.
What?
Or, I messed his name up. The smaller individual.
Ryan and Bill.
Bill. I don't know why I thought I said. I don't know why I thought Rick.
Yeah. You made me wonder if I was forgetting someone.
I remember distinctively there was a part where he's being introduced to the police department. The police officer called him little, and you see Ryan go out of his way not to do that. I thought that was really, really cool to see that he is more than happy to acknowledge people without like demeaning them.
Yeah. Well, this is set in a future where basically the 1%ers have all moved to Mars, and any genetic or any people with genetic issues have been left behind, and we'll find out later. Bill, is a little person, and his parents left him behind, and he's kind of treated poorly by a lot of people. But I like to have Earp treating everybody fairly and equally, no matter what. He's not, he's not the greatest fighter. He's not the greatest shooter, but deep down, he's a good guy. And I think a lot of the morals that I seen, like really showcase that. I mean, there was a lot of action. There was some spice too, like, and I thought that was an interesting puzzle as well. That we later find out some rather interesting things happening. Like I said, I don't want to spoil too much, but I do want to acknowledge that I think the writing was done really awesome. The art, the pencil, the inks just look beautiful. Who was the person you had working on those? Yeah, Fred Bennis, who is the younger brother of Ed Bennis, who did a lot of stuff for DC and some of the indie companies, and he's got his own studio in Brazil. I just kind of got lucky. I was trying to make contact with a different artist who wasn't available, and the person running the Ed Bennis studio said, I got Fred available, and I saw his art, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And he's perfect for the job.
It's like, I really loved, at one point, we see our protagonist get like a special pair of goggles, sunglasses, that let him see like infrared through the walls. And it was so well drawn that at no point, at no point did I feel confused on what was happening. It's just like he had full control of what he was doing with his art, and I loved it. Yeah,
it's great. I don't have to give him too much in the way of direction for him to just know exactly what I need. And I don't probably count on one hand the number of times I would have had to have had him change something.
So did he help you come up with the design for the character, or was that something that you had previously?
I did everything myself. I do have a rudimentary ability to draw. Not enough to draw a comic. I would never try that myself. But I was able to, sketch certain things, or to find things on the internet as a basis, because I didn't want to get too over the top in terms of futurism. I wanted to be as realistic as possible and try and predict the way tech will be in 2055, because technology develops much more slowly than we expected.
Yeah. I remember watching the Jetsons when I was a kid, and they were predicting around this time we'd have flying cars and everything. Right. We have John from the Bubble Patrol in chat over at YouTube watching and eating chips. Hope you're having a good night, John. Thank you for joining us. Any questions, guys, feel free to ask. We're going to be diving into the Kickstarter in just a few. But I did want to kind of ask and touch base upon a little bit of your past as well. Now, you said you were a lawyer. Do you feel like any of that kind of helped you set the footwork for all of this? Like maybe like how you have to be organized, or like the way you have to set things up. Do you think any of that kind of bled into like how you went about running like the Kickstarter or setting any of this up?
Well, you know, like I'm a personal injury attorney, and I specialize in like medical malpractice and product liability, but I do, you know, a lot of other things, including contracts. And around 2000 to 2001, I represented a small publishing company in a breach of contract case, and I learned all the ins and outs of the publishing business. And that's what, you know, gave me the idea to start my own company. And
who would ever thought, you know?
Yeah. And then 2014, maybe, we were approached by another company that wanted to release some comic books. And, you know, I had kind of a producer role with that. And these are actually the Deadlands comics, the Weird Westerns. Mm-hmm. You know, they're running a Kickstarter campaign now, compiling all those books, actually. But originally, there were 4 issues that were published by Image Comics.
Wow.
And, you know, I learned quite a bit then, and I made some connections then that helped me now get established in the comic book field. And it's amazing how, I mean, you know, the indie comics scene, you know, is full of great people, but, you know, so are the, you know, the quote unquote big leagues too. I mean, you know, for example, I approached Ron Mars, you know, the famed writer, because he had been the editor of the Deadlands comics and had written one of them, and I wanted to hire him to edit Riot Earp, because I wanted to make sure I was on the right path and not, you know, not doing some crappy book.
So do you think it was nice for him to kind of be able to, like, since you had like a producer role previously, do you think it was nice for him to kind of give, like, have some of that give back, like to be able to throw it back at you?
Definitely. And you know, and through him I've met, you know, a bunch of other people. He and I are actually co-writing a Riot Earp prequel, which takes place when he's in the Space Force. Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So
yeah.
No, yeah, nice.
And it's being drawn by Darryl Banks, you know, and Mars of Banks were, you know, the famous team that created Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. And then I you know, got along great with Darryl, and he and I are doing a one-shot horror comic too. So that's coming along slowly.
You got your hands in a couple projects.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got 4 things going on. I've been doing some work with inker Keith Champagne, who's also a writer, and he also has a Kickstarter going on. It's called Microscopic. You know, it looks great. You know, he's Keith has really helped me figure out, you know, the Kickstarter platform, and he really steered me towards it, because for a while I was trying to get, you know, one of the, you know, established companies to do to Riot Earp. Could have done it myself, but you know, I figure if you're going to get, you know, floppies created, you want to get them into comic stores. Mm-hmm. But Keith Champagne talked me into doing Kickstarter, because he's done it quite a few times. And you know, Heavy Metal Magazine was actually interested in Riot Earp.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They have an imprint called Virus. Mm-hmm. They don't do a lot of comics, but problem is right now they are only publishing digitally.
Okay, I gotcha.
And you know, I would have to wait a long time to get any money if it was only published digitally. And they could have sat on, you know, like if there was traction for the book, then they would eventually compile it and put it out in a trade. But they could sit on that for 5 years, and I don't have that time to wait.
Hey, real quick, Michael, we have John in the chat asking if any of the cases that you worked on have influence on your comic or writing work.
No. like I said earlier, I'm working on a novel. That's kind of loosely based on some things that I've gone through in the field. Some cases I've worked on, and some trials I dealt with. But again, I throw in a lot of action and adventure that didn't actually happen to me, but I want to keep it interesting. Mm-hmm. There's a mystery to be solved. It's a murder mystery that just so happens to involve some cases that I had worked on in the past.
So real quick, we have Cloudy TV saying the artwork is phenomenal. And anyone that is watching, we're on all platforms: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Right there is the link to check it out. Go to the Kickstarter, check it out. It is a phenomenal price to get issue number 1, 54 pages. Like I can't believe some of the tears. We're gonna break that down in just a few seconds as well. But real quick before we dive into the Kickstarter, how long do you think we can expect this series to go? I know you sent me there was 4 books originally, and you combined them because you wanted to condense them for the reader. So that's 2. How long are we looking for, for an arc or for a series?
Well, I have 14 issues scripted.
Wow.
I kind of had to.
2 years?
I had to stop myself.
In 2 years, though. Oh my God.
And that's just the one project. Although everything else I'm working on is like limited series or standalones.
You have to be like just a typewriter. Holy crap.
Yeah, things just pop into your head, and you got to put them down and say, okay, this would work great for such and such an issue, or this would be a totally separate property. And I've got notebooks. I'm old school. I like to write things down with a pen and paper. Mm-hmm. I've got notebooks full of ideas, and sometimes you can go back in time and pull out an interesting fight scene and plug it in to a storyline that you're doing, that you just created. So it's easy enough to start projects. The hard part is finishing them.
Yeah.
The way I write is I'll have scenes or snippets of dialogue just come to me, and then I put them all down, and then the hard part is creating a framework or a structure to connect everything. That's the work. And making sure everything lines up, because you definitely want like the continuity to flow smoothly. And wow, 14, that is remarkable. So with this is your first Kickstarter as well, right? Correct.
So what were some of the big hurdles? I know you said you had a friend that was helping you along the way. What was like some of the big hurdles that you had setting it up, getting started? I mean, you are doing awesome. 15 days to go, fully funded. So 90 backers, congratulations on that. You must have whatever trouble you had, you smashed right through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all relative, because say I had started with a $5,000 goal, I wouldn't be halfway there yet, and I'd be sweating.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to put much stock into the funding goal. The idea is to make a name for myself in terms of being known for a quality product, and then with issue 2, I'm hoping I'll make more money. With issue 3, that might be the one with Ron Mars and Darryl Banks. I'm hoping that the name recognition will bring even more. Issue 2, I don't know, you probably didn't even get to that yet.
Oh, I read it.
Well, I mean, with issues 3 or 4.
3, 4. No, I didn't. My apologies.
So, for fans of the TV show Psych, the 2 main actors gave me permission to use their likenesses in the comic.
Oh, dude, how did you go about doing that? That is awesome.
I offered to donate to their favorite charities.
What a move! And they were
the Kickstarter. I don't have to, but I'm going to. offered to donate a portion of proceeds, again, to their favorite charities as well. James Roday, who plays Sean Spencer, is a fan of Saving the Elephants. And Dulé Hill, who plays Gus, he has a smaller charity in Los Angeles for a dancing for kids.
That is so cool.
And he's a tap dancer himself, so
that is awesome.
I can see where that comes from.
We have Cloudy over at YouTube saying, "No way, that's awesome." Yeah, that is remarkable. I don't think a lot of indie comic creators like that, at least around us, have done something like that. I mean, what inspired you to kind of base those? Did you want to do that first, or did it just happen?
Well, like most of the characters in Riot Earp are based on an actor. Just the way of shorthand, so I can tell my artist Fred, I'd like this person to look like so and so. And sometimes he made people look too good, and he had to change it and back it down a little. And I thought, when I wrote issue 3, which will be the first part of the second Kickstarter, hey, this would be great if I could get someone known to star in the role. And my sister was not friends with, but acquainted with Dulé Hill, having met him in the past, and he's such a nice guy. And she reached out to him on my behalf, and he's like, right away, he's like, yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Dude, these dots are just lining up perfectly for you.
Yeah. James Roday was tougher to get to, but luckily I had a connection.
Man, that is so cool, and that's going to be in the next upcoming issue. So you have a whole series planned out. Let's go ahead. Let's start diving into the Kickstarter. I think we painted the picture good enough. I like to use that opportunity in the beginning to kind of give listeners a nice, idea of who you are. Once again, congratulations on the success with the funding.
Thanks.
With you being so new, and with it being only 15 days into the campaign, what are some of the things that you think really helped you push towards funding?
Well, I've really been pushing the fact that it's a complete story. I think that's important, because I have been probably losing money from all the Kickstarter campaigns I've been backing for other people. And I've noticed personally that I'm more drawn to projects where the whole story is going to be right in front of me, because unlike monthly comics, you have to wait a long time when it's a Kickstarter. So if I have to wait 3 or 4 months for a full story to be released on Kickstarter, I might be more inclined to wait for the 4th issue to come out and then buy the first 3.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to present complete stories to the reader now, so they don't have to worry about waiting too long to see the continuation or the conclusion of the tale.
With this one being so long, and I'm assuming the second one, since you're combining 3 and 4 together, it's going to be pretty long. Is 3 going to be 50 pages as well, or are you going to condense it down to maybe 25?
Well, each comic is 24 pages. I know that Marvel and DC and the rest only go 22, but I felt like I needed 24 pages myself to tell these stories. And then the first issue of Riot Earp was originally going to be 30 pages, because I started with 24, and then I just didn't feel satisfied with it, so I wrote 6 more pages, and Fred drew it for me. So the next one will only be 48 pages, but there will be a lot more room for back matter.
Yeah.
Sketches and such, people like that. So, for example, this issue is going to actually wind up being 60 pages, because I got a little bit of back matter, and I think I'll have 4 pinups
Okay.
You know,
So
3 by Fred and 1 by Daryl Banks.
we have Claudia. I think you talked about this earlier as well. Fred, his brother. I think you said his brother worked for the Big Two, right?
Yeah. Yeah, DC
has,
especially.
He said he wanted to know if Fred worked for any larger comic book companies. His art rivals some of the big names at DC, Marvel, Image. Which I gotta agree. I think this art is phenomenal. When I was reading it, I'm like, wow. You know, the way the writing is like married to the artwork. It goes hand in hand. It seems like you guys were made for each other.
He did ink a bunch of issues of Witchblade for Top Cow Comics, and he has done some covers too, but he doesn't do a lot of, you know, of storytelling. So I was kind of lucky. You know, he wanted to challenge himself and do this. So
hey, whenever you find someone wanting to do that, you're gonna get some of their best work.
Right, exactly. And I said, okay, let's at least do 6 issues and see where this goes. And if you want to continue, great. If not, you know, knock on wood, I'll have to find someone else. But yeah, at least I got the commitment for the 6 issues, plus as an added bonus, because the prequel from Space Force is only a 40-pager, we did an 8-page backup. So the 40-page story is with Riot Earp, and then the 8-page backup is a prequel story with Bill.
Okay. Yeah. That would be really cool, because it seems like Bill's gonna be a pretty big part of this, just from what I read with it. You know, the issue 1, and the cliffhanger. Holy crap! I gotta give you kudos for that. That cliffhanger was. So you are in control of the mouse, excuse me, the mice. So if you want to go ahead, we could start scrolling down and kind of breaking things down. If you want, we could start off by watching this video.
That's up to you.
Yeah, dude, I'm always about it. I have, you know, when we're going through the Kickstarter, we sell as much of it as you want to. Okay.
Well, I mean, the video pretty much has, you know, the same artwork that is in the Kickstarter page itself, just with the story and some original music that was, you know, written for me.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, it's whatever you want. If you want to skip over and kind of just go through the pictures yourself in your own narration, we could do that too.
Yeah, let's do this. Is this tracking?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so here's a page with Earp and his first romantic interest, Josie, who's a fellow officer who kind of throws herself at him. He, you know, he's really lucky that he's a smooth talker and a ladies' man.
Yeah. So you set the tone with these two, like within like the first issue too. What was your reasoning behind that?
I think I wanted to set the characterization before anything else.
I gotcha.
I want you to get, you know, with the characters first, and then, you know, expand outward into the world that Earp, you know, lives in.
No, I think the way you ended up having the relationship between these two start to kind of pan out, it really seems like it was well paced. I was just interested because like it was pretty much right when he's getting picked up, she was already like trying to jump his bones. It's like, oh my God, girl, come on.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But you know, if it reaches issue 8, then we have a love triangle starting.
Ooh, is that gonna be with the redhead?
You got it.
See, I could pick up. You do a good job at dropping the foreshadowing.
Right. Yeah. Good idea. Yeah. I really don't have a lot of foreshadowing of that until I think issue 6 is when things start picking up. And then it really starts picking up steam and getting steamy, hopefully.
Man, Riot.
Yeah. Okay. So here is this is the variant cover by Daryl Banks. Okay, and Daryl is also, well, both of my artists have deigned to contribute either full body sketches or headshot sketches for some of the pledges. So those are still available. This is some of the artwork, one of the action scenes from the second part of the story.
Which I really like the flying drones, especially when they start shooting, because it's like he's already knee deep in it, but then you see these things start shooting at him. He's like, oh my god. We got Cloudy saying Derek's work is amazing too. I really like that variant cover. That's the one I actually chose for a thumbnail. I just like the way he was able to really blend like the fire and the explosion and the chaos like on their faces. Like I think he did a good job capturing it.
Yeah. The one thing I did not do was put any art with the lettering, even though the first 4 issues are completely lettered. I didn't want to ruin anything for people. I like to have surprises. I like to as an editor, I used to tell my writers, zig and then zag and then zig again. Because there are so many ways to tell the same story that you really have to come up with something creative. You really gotta make the reader keep their head on a swivel.
Yeah. So what are the red shades that we're looking at? What are we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Okay. Like what are they capable of? Do you have a name for them?
They're just goggles. The cops have they're all issued the same weapons and equipment, and they help. They're infrared, so they help him see through walls. And we don't see this in issue 1, but they also have the ability to like function as a computer screen.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Right. I want to leave room for growth. For some of these items. Okay. Here, like to show the sex appeal. It's a shame, but I couldn't do it myself. But when you look at some of these Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaigns, if you have a naked woman on the cover, you're going to get 10 times the amount of money.
It's true. Sex sells. I think that's just like a thing for anything in any industry. And it's one of those things. I don't know. More power to anyone who wants to do it. Because you're right. I haven't seen a single cover that didn't have something with sex appeal that wasn't like outrageously successful, like with their funding.
Right. So I don't have a problem. I mean, look, Fred does amazing drawings of beautiful women, and sexy women.
We have Cloudy in the chat saying apologizing for being a little late, but what time period? This is set you said
2055.
2055. So it's futuristic, but not like overly futuristic, like rubber bullets. But there is a flying vehicle at one point. So it's a good mixture and balance of the two, I feel.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I want to be realistic in terms of the technology that I include. I want someone to be able to open this comic in 2055 and say, "Damn, he was right." He was spot on. So that's Peg here, the office manager, who is the sweetest person you ever meet, and not Earp's type at all, and vice versa. But through circumstances, they wind up, creating a triangle with Officer Josie here. Right. And here's Bill. Bill, like I said earlier, he's a little person. He comes from money. His parents moved to Mars, left him behind. He's a little bitter about it. At least they left the money.
Yeah, eating a $200 steak and buying one for his boy as well. I mean, dang.
Yeah. You know, he's a civilian dispatcher and drone operator, just to have something to do.
And you could really tell that he gets made fun of a lot, because when we see them originally get introduced, he's already saying, you know, that's not how you know, that's not my name. But then he doesn't realize that, you know, we really see Earp use his name correctly and take the time not to call him little, not to demean him. And it threw Bill off. Bill was like, whoa, you know, wasn't expecting that. And
Earp's a smart aleck, but Bill gets all the best lines.
Yeah, no, he really does.
Bill's the funny guy.
I love how he was like Mission Impossible as well. Like that was something I didn't really foresee, you know.
Yeah, I wanted him to, you know, I wanted to show that, you know, he was just as capable of getting in on the action. You know, there's a lot of you know, minorities. There's a lot of, you know, people with issues, and I want to be as fair and egalitarian to everybody as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of the states, you know, we'll see are a lot more uniform in terms of the citizenry, but California just, you know, becomes even more liberal, you know, than it is, you know, today, and a lot less homogenous. Okay, here's some more art from Fred, showing the Earp finds out that there's some terrorists who are looking to take over the provincial government, and he just travels there to see if there's anything he can do to help, not realizing he's going to get, you know, smack dab right in the middle of what's going on.
It was interesting too, because what kind of propelled this was like Alex Jones like look-alike, and it was awesome to see kind of how you like wove that in there, just like it was like watching an InfoWars like episode.
Right.
What was your ideology behind that?
That's something that I remember from things like the RoboCop movie and Starship Troopers, where they have these, you know, cutscenes with talking heads explaining the background,
mm-hmm.
you know, the future, you know, places, and you know, what the history and culture are going to be like. And I think Frank Miller did it too in The Dark Knight Returns. You know, he had TV broadcasters, and he had talk show hosts.
You know, you're right. Now that I think about it, yeah, and it does do a good job of, like, I guess, world building, like, without you having to force it, like, because it's almost like organic, like a TV show just popping on, and you give like a couple panels to it. Like, I really enjoyed how you did that.
Right. Like in later issues, I'll have a page that's well, even in this issue, a page that's a commercial. You know, so in this issue, there's a cut scene where the whole page is a commercial for
mm-hmm.
Los Angeles as a, you know, a living, you know, quarters, all in one mall and you know, condo complex.
Okay. I gotcha.
Right. So let's see. Here's this is one of the pinups that is available separately, as well as a high quality print done by Fred, and the colorist, a guy named Fred Marine, and he's, you know, did an amazing job.
Yeah, these look awesome.
You know, he does all the colors, you know, interiors and covers. I like to have the same artist, you know, do the cover as the interior, because I like people to know what they see on the outside is what they're going to see on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
This is black and white of another pinup that Fred did. It'll be in the book, and it'll
it's
also
two different worlds too. Like seeing just the lines and then seeing it with color and everything. Like two different worlds.
Yeah, here's a sketch that has already been completed, and if you sign up for the book, whether it's digital or print, I'm going to send you a link to get this finished product as wallpaper.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's already been done. I figured, okay, we already met, the first goal. I figure it's okay, good enough. I'll shell out the money to get that sucker done, and it's a great tribute to the Rocketeer if you recognize that pose. Yeah, big Dave Stevens fan myself.
That's awesome. We have Cloudy TV saying the commercials would definitely remind him of the Starship Trooper movie as well. Yeah, I'm loving this sketch. This sketch is awesome.
Right. Yeah. I'd have to find it to show you the finished product. But hey, if people want to see the finished product, all I have to do is buy the book. Yeah,
and speaking of that, I mean, it's not that hard to get it. I mean, your first, and this it was my tier, but I think it might be the first. Was the pledge 6 or more, and you get the digital edition, 54 pages for $6.
Yeah,
that's insane. So why so cheap though? I mean, because this is basically 2 books combined into one. Were you just trying to get it out there easier for the consumer?
Exactly. I want people to feel comfortable buying it. I mean, I'm going to sell the second one at the same price.
Wow, that's and I mean, because you already have it finished though, so you already have the finished product. So I guess it's not like you're not taking a heavy hit on it, because it's not like you're actively having to pay for it to be produced, because it's already finished.
Right. The idea is to be able to get enough funding to just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Everything that I make on the Kickstarters is just going to go right back into Riot Earp. I'm not looking to make money myself. I just like creating and entertaining people and getting the work out there. And this is like I mentioned before, this is just one of 4 projects that are in the works. In different degrees of completion, and I want to be able to start funding the other projects too, to get those out in the world.
Cloudy asking, sorry for the late question, how many issues are completed so far? So there are 2 issues. They're basically 4 issues combined into 2 to just make it easier for the reader and make it more condensed. So this
special is about 3/4 done.
So basically with this Kickstarter right now, he's basically giving you the first 2 issues combined as 154 pages. You can get the digital for $6. The physical is not that much more though, only $10.
Yeah, I mean, plus shipping will be extra, but I'm hoping to keep the prices down.
Yeah. I mean, and shipping shouldn't be too bad. So for $10 again, is that just another way just to get this physical into the hands easier? I mean, because with printing costs and everything, 10 seems really reasonable.
Yeah, again, I'm not looking to make a lot of money on the deal. I'm looking to get the work out there. And I want to make it easy for people to take that plunge with an unknown quantity. Because hopefully, after, say, the first, I'm thinking, 8 issues, worth of material, and that's including the prequel special. I'll put it out as a trade paperback, and I can release that on Kickstarter, and I can also release that in stores, with my publishing company.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And I can hopefully make a lot of the money back on that end.
No, I got you. So
fingers crossed.
Business plan is basically just trying to get the word out as much as humanly possible. I like that. I think obviously it's working. Obviously, because you funded. And how quick did you fund? Like, how many days into it?
Say about the first week.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. What was and not real quick to get off of this, but while we're in the Kickstarter, like what would you say was the biggest thing that like pushed you? Like, you know, certain groups, you know, were you using any Instagram groups or Facebook groups? I know you said you really don't do a whole lot of social media.
Right. Basically, everything was coming through Twitter. Just a handful of people were coming through Facebook, although one of those people picked the top package, which is for $200, I'll edit your book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. You know, I've been an editor since 2002.
So what's an editing rate go for, just so we have an idea of like what to base it off of?
Thousands.
Wow. So why so cheap? Just to help get it funded?
That, and also because if it's really good, I'll consider publishing it, you know, through my company.
Okay, so so it almost goes hand in hand. If you like it, you're like, okay, hey, come on over.
Exactly. Yeah.
I gotcha.
And I like to help people. You know, I got attached to actually there's a project that's going to be released by Heavy Metal's Virus imprint. It's a comic. It's a miniseries called Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and the writer is from Italy, and English is his second language. And someone put me in touch with him because he wanted someone to help with the, you know, with the English translation. Yeah. So you know, I helped him with that, and I said, and while I'm at it, like, I didn't want to just stop there. I wanted to help him make this the best project possible. And you know, I can't read anything or watch a movie without my editor hat on. And you know, I have to give people feedback, even if it's for free. You know,
no, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. It's because it's one of those things where you don't realize it, but a lot of people don't get that feedback. So sometimes they don't know better. They don't know they're doing something wrong. And you could essentially be making or breaking, you know, their career by giving them just, you know, normal advice that, you know, if they take it, they could really run far with it. Right.
And hey, you know, you never know what's going to, you know, come across your desk or fall on your lap. And yeah, maybe I don't strike lightning with my own stuff, but maybe someone, you know, drops a manuscript on my desk and, you know, lightning strikes that way. Yeah, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you got a good thing going. Funding it halfway through, an amazing amount of backers. Did you do any sort of pre-launch with this before you went live with it?
No, it was really a spur of the moment thing. Where one of my partners gave me an ultimatum. He's like, dude, you know, we can't wait forever to see if this lands with the company. You know, and he gave me till May, and I said, you know what, let's just do it now. And I just I put it, you know, I sent the information.
Kind of close though. I mean, 15 days before.
Right. Yeah.
So when did you say this? Was it a couple months ago?
No, it was in March.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I said in March. He said, okay, let's wait till May, and a couple people in the industry said, you know, you should really start thinking about Kickstarter. You know, these days, Kickstarter is, you know, the new normal. You know,
it really is.
Yeah. And I just finally said, you know what, let's do it. You know, I got tired of waiting myself. And I said, let's go.
You know, Kickstarter definitely, it's cool because in the unfortunate event if someone doesn't fund, you don't get charged for it. So it's not like you only get the product if it funds, and you run into the case where it doesn't get delivered. But in my experiences, I haven't really had that happen, you know.
Right.
So
you know, go ahead. There's going to be a quick turnaround for this, for me, because, you know, as soon as Riot Earp gets in people's hands, I'm going to start the next campaign.
Because you already have it finished. You already have everything already drawn, lettered, and everything. You just have to send it pretty much off to the printer.
Yep.
Do you have a printer in mind that you want to use?
Yeah. Comic Spring.
I heard nothing but good things about them. So
good quality and good prices.
Absolutely. So it looks like we got $5 more. You're gonna get the Daryl Banks variant cover. So just $5 more for the variant. And that was the one that was we were showing up top, right, with the fire in the background. Yeah, gorgeous cover. Definitely love that.
Limited edition of 50.
Yeah, that's not too bad as well. $5 more, and you're gonna get both comic versions. So the original cover and the variant. Outstanding prices, for real. At that point, it's $10 an issue. You're saving some money doing it that way too. Which one's your favorite? Do you like the variant a little bit more?
I like the original.
Yeah.
I hope Daryl doesn't hear this because I love Daryl. Yeah, he's a great guy and he's an amazing artist. But there's just something I don't know if it's nostalgia or what. But
it has that old school cop vibe to it, 110%. Yeah. I don't know if that's what you're aiming for, but that is the vibe I get.
And that's exactly what I saw in my head when I told Fred, this is what I want the cover to look like. Yeah, with Daryl, I said, do what you want, and he gave me a couple sketches, and I said, oh, I like this one. Let's go with this one. But with Fred, I wanted to be able to show, you got the characters, you got the futuristic vehicle, and you have the map of the divided states in the background. And I think that sets everything out perfectly.
No, I think the cover was really well rounded as well. So we have pledged 30 or more, and you're gonna get both comic versions plus extras. So what type of extras are we looking at getting with that tier?
Okay, we have the 2 pinups, and they'll be printed on heavy stock. We have a 2-sided bookmark, which will have the 2 lovely ladies, one on each side. We're getting to a stretch goal for once they hit $3,000. I've got a trading card. It'll be a Riot Earp trading card.
Okay, and you're getting the comics in print. So is that both of them, or is that just the one?
What do you mean?
With the pledge 30 or more, it says both comic versions. So are you getting both physicals?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So just $10 more, and you're getting the pinups, the bookmark. Wow, that is an outstanding deal. You are seriously keeping everything so consumer friendly. This is probably one of the most consumer friendly Kickstarters I've seen.
Right. Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, because printing, postage is extra. And I don't have a whole lot of control over that. So the best I can do is keep the cost for the book itself down as much as possible. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And all the extras are designed to fit in the same box as the comic, so you only have to pay for that shipping. The only extra is if you order one of the sketches from one of the artists, because it costs extra for them to ship the thing to me, so I can turn around and ship it to the backer. But one of my levels, you get 4 books from my publishing company, and
that's the Strider Nolan sample, the pledge $40 one, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's going to go, via media mail, so you don't have to pay extra for that either. So, everything's going to be.
But that's like 6 books at that point, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're good books too.
Yeah. And you get the bookmarks and the print. This is an outstanding deal. The $100 or more, you get the Fred Bennis headshots and all the goods. So it's looking like you're getting a headshot of your character of choice on a 9x12. Yeah, that's gorgeous. And then the 119 or more, you get the Daryl Banks headshot or more. So what's up with the extra 19 on that?
It was supposed to be 120.
He's like, I'm hoping he's not going to call it out.
I don't know why it said 119.
You got a backer on it, so it worked. I mean, you just only lost $1. Not bad, right?
Yeah, it's okay. But look, Daryl is much more established an artist as Fred. Although surprisingly, I've sold more of the Fred sketches than Daryl's. But I mean, Daryl has been working in the industry for decades. Yeah, and like I said, he created, Kyle Rayner with Ron Mars.
That's so crazy. All I can remember is that poor man's girlfriend getting stuffed in a refrigerator.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That was a powerful panel.
Yes, it was. Oh my God, dude. Because it's, I love Green Lantern, but I was never expecting that type of moment. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, whew. So we have the $180 one. So you get the Daryl Banks draws a figure plus all the goods. So it looks like the later tiers, you're going to get the drawings plus all the other later or earlier tiers as well in combination.
Exactly.
Okay. And then for $20 more, that's the one edit your comment or prose a project. So this is the one where you get to get in there and put your work. And it looks like you have, like you said, a backer as well.
Yeah.
So how long did that process get someone look? If they go to get that, like how long are you going to offer your services to them for?
Just one manuscript.
Well, I guess like what type of time period is that? Like a month or a couple weeks?
I would say probably take me a month, depending on how long the material is.
So they should have it already written first before they consider this.
They don't have to.
Okay.
The one person who already signed up, I reached out to them, and they are working on finishing up a manuscript for a fiction novel, and so I told them, okay, well, once I get that, give me a month.
It's like a retainer, basically.
Right.
Yeah, no, that almost works in your favor because you're like, okay, that gives, I got some free time. Like, I can wait. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And then all the ones after that, they're all gone, but it was like the early bird tiers. So, I mean, good price as well. You had 160 on the Fred Bennis, draws a figure and all the goods. Really awesome prices as well. $2 off the physical, $2 off the digital. But those of course are sold out. So with that, we basically went through the entire Kickstarter. Would you say?
Yes.
Cool. So let's go ahead. We're going to go back to our main screen and start wrapping things up. So for anyone that's watching, audio or vision, vision dominant idiot, visual, what would you say to them if they're on the fence about backing your Kickstarter? Like any sort of thing you could say to them directly to kind of push them over that edge?
Well, I mean, it's professionally done. Ron Mars edited the book. So, he's not going to put his name on something that's junk. So far, a number of people have read it and enjoyed it, including yourself.
I put my stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, thanks. And it's not expensive, so you don't have a lot to lose. And the book, it's going to get done because it's funded. It's well past being funded, and it's going to be something good, if you ask me. If I do say so myself. And
you guys might have heard me say, I have a pledge, and Michael actually gave me this for free digitally. I liked it so much that, and I'm also a big firm believer in backing, even if I got a copy, because that's you should. I feel like that's something that should be more in the industry. If you're going to get a copy, you enjoy it, you at least need to talk about it, or you at least need to back it, or back the next project. Not everyone can spare a penny at this moment, but word of mouth is free.
Right.
So.
Definitely.
Michael, we came to one of my favorite parts of the show, and I think this is one of the most interesting, because I like this to not only be promotional for you, but to also act as like a tool for anyone that's listening. So for anyone that's kind of struggling to get their book off the ground, you know, they've been in it for maybe a couple years or a couple months and they're struggling to kind of just get going. What sort of advice would you give them just to get their idea to light?
As trite as this sounds, just do it. Just do something. If you're a writer, you have to have a complete story. And whether it's a standalone or a 4-issue miniseries or the first couple issues in a series with the rest of it at least, you know, plotted out to some degree in your head. You have to have that. And if it's a comic, you really want to have some sample pages done by the artist. You know, you're going to have to pay out of your own pocket, but you know, it's going to be worth it. And I think the better the art, the easier it is going to be to sell.
100%. It's easier to sell something visually instead of trying to describe it, like, you know, 110%. And the better it looks, the more eye-catching it is. For me, and this is just, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but when I go to buy a comic, like that cover, if that cover is visually striking enough, I'm going to buy it. And then I'm going to keep reading the series depending on how good the writing is with the art.
Right.
So yeah, awesome. I really appreciate it. You know, big shout out to Michael too. We had a cancellation on the interview due to just an illness. And today was just crazy. I took a dad nap. I woke up, my phone alarm was going off. I thought I'd accidentally dialed 911, like the SOS, and we were getting hit with a tornado. So it was like getting your basement now, like a national or a statewide emergency. It was insane. But what a fantastic end to the night. I appreciate you coming on short notice.
Sure. No problem.
Man, I think we killed it. This was such an awesome interview, and I can't wait to get you back on for issue number 2 for the next Kickstarter.
And the other project's coming.
Yes, let's go. So with that being said, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up. Stay tuned. We will have this cleaned up and on all of our podcasts and other major platforms later on this week. I hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.